So today or tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about fungal interactions with insects. So fungi are everywhere, literally everywhere. They have diverse lifestyles and as a whole inhabit many different environments. We are probably sitting down on some fungi here. There are fungi in the rainforest, even marine fungi. Um, but fungi are known to decompose lignin and hard to digest compounds in the soil. They're also important for their plant interactions. So they, as Jason mentioned, 80 to 90% of the plants have interactions with fungi. Also, the rhizosphere, which is the soil around the roots, is composed about 10 to 30% of fungi. So imagine how much fungi there is out there. Now, insects are everywhere too. Most insects are the most diverse animal worldwide. There's around 900,000 species described on insects, and they're very important for agriculture, both as beneficial or also as pests. Now, this means having both of them being everywhere, there's a lot of opportunity for fungi and insects to interact with each other to exploit each other's for nutrition. And today we're going to talk a little bit on parasitize, where fungi parasitize insects, and also cooperation, where they help each other for nutrition. And we're going to start talking about the cooperate part. And this could be directly or indirectly, and we'll see some examples. So we're going to start with this beautiful mushroom here. It's called the stinkhorn mushroom. And it's called this name because it produces volatiles that mimic dead body, dead decomposing body. But the reason why it's doing this is to attract flies. So it's producing a slime that flies can eat from. And also, in the same way, the fly is also catching spores and spreading spores farther. So normally, fungi utilize wind or water to disperse their spores, but maybe using insects, or in this case, a fly, it will help the spores travel farther. Also, some insects can cultivate fungi. So there are insects that have farms. Some insects have farm plant decaying fungi, and they're highly coordinated mutualism. There are three organisms, but we're gonna talk about two of them. One of them is the Attini ants or the leaf cutting ants. It's a general example. There are different ant species and different fungi species that can interact with ants. But in general, ants will provide plant material to the fungi, and the fungi will provide food to the ant. There are some fungi species or fungal species that have lost the ability to reproduce sexually. So the ant will need to grab a piece of the fungi and take it to another colony to be able to grow. Here is just the hyphae, the swollen hyphae of what the ants eat. And you'll see here, this is what the ants are eating. This is what the fungus is providing to the ants. Now, termites also have a fungal counterpart. Some termites, in this case, the Microtermitini termites, with the fungal counterpart here. But in this case, the fungus did not lose the ability to reproduce sexually. The rest is similar. The termite will provide food to the fungi, and the fungi will produce food, provide food to the termite in this case. Now, I don't know if you heard of the cuckoo bird. The cuckoo bird is the bird that lay their eggs on other birds' nests. And I wanted to ask, are all of these termite eggs? Just a random guess. Yes or no? So no. So you'll see the brown, very dark brown spheres are fungi. So this sphere are called sclerotia, which is like very compacted hyphae. And the sclerotia or the compacted hyphae have the exact same diameter of the egg. And the termites are taking care of those of that fungi, of that sphere, like if it was their eggs. And if you can see here, there are many more fungi spheres than eggs that are the clear ones. And you see the name here? Remember which fungus Jason said was his favorite one? So this is the fungus that Jason favorite fungi. We really don't know what's happening here. And it's still under investigation on what's happening. What's the fungus doing that is making the termites take care of the of those spheres of that fungi itself? There's research have shown that when the termites abandon the nest, the fungus can germinate and then take advantage of that dead material that is around the nest. Now, we're gonna switch gears from cooperation to parasitism. This is my favorite topic here. So we're gonna talk about entomopathogenic fungi. So what are entomopathogenic fungi? It's a fungus that can parasitize an insect, causing disease and death. Here, and they can come in different shapes and sizes and colors. And you'll see this is different insects infected with different entomopathogen fungi. They are distributed globally, and they're almost in all terrestrial ecosystems, but their highest diversity is in the tropical areas. In agriculture, entomopathogenic fungi have been used as a biocontrol to control insect pests. And they usually call them microinsecticides. Oh, I jumped too fast. And some of these fungi can be formulated and applied in the field. And this is just a formulated fungi that is formulated to infect aphids in this case. Most of the fungi that are formulated are based on these two fungi, Beauveria and Metarhizium. And I put here just a picture of a Beauveria and an Neisseria so you can see how they look in plate in the lab and how dissimilar they are. They don't look anything similar to each other, right? So typically, the entomopathogenic fungi, as I mentioned, are applied in the field, but they don't persist as well. And you have to reapply them every time you want protection. But some studies have shown that if you utilize entomopathogenic fungi from your field, native to your field, meaning that it's in your field, those entomopathogenic fungi are more persistent in your field than introduced species that will be the ones that you buy in commercially. Also, you have to take in consideration that some of these entomopathogenic fungi are affected by chemical pesticides and the agricultural practices that you use in your field, meaning tillage and other things like that. But the most common fungi is the Metarhizium that appears to be tolerant to agricultural practices and pesticides. Now, the fun part of entomopathogenic fungi are the zombie ants. So some fungi can turn ants into zombies, and they're known to manipulate insect behavior to fit a spore dispersal in this case. So this fungus called Ophiocordyceps unilateralaris can colonize the insect body, so all the parts of the ant in this case, but it leaves the ant's brain intact. Now, when the insect is infected, what's happening is that the ant will show convulsion. It will start walking in zigzags. It will start wandering around, and it will stop doing its daily routine. Remember, ants have a routine that they do every day, so they will stop doing all of that. And I put a video here of what's happening to the ant when it gets infected. And I'm gonna narrate it. So in this case, what's happening is that the ant got infected, and while the ant is getting colonized by the fungus, it will start wandering around, and you'll see that it will start wandering around a little weird. It will start walking in zigzags. It will show convulsions. And eventually the ant will start climbing up a leaf or a twig, and we'll see that soon. So the ant is showing a little more convulsion here. So it starts climbing up, and this is the fungus making the ant go up. It's not the ant itself, it's the fungus making the ant go up. Let's see. So you'll see it will start going up in this case, a tree trunk. And pay attention at how the ant makes a bite into the trunk. And this is also the fungus making the ant bite into the tree. And now it's gonna bite, and then the fungus is gonna kill the ant and finish colonizing the inside body and produce a fruiting body. Will it produce new spores and infect other ants, creating a zombie colony of ants. So what's happening here is still trying to be understood, but this group found evidence that there is some neuroactive compounds that is affecting the fungus is producing to affect the ant behavior. But as I mentioned, there's still more research that needs to be done to know what's exactly happening to the ant itself. So here, I just wanted to show different ants with different ophiocordyceps, and for me, this is beautiful, and how all these stalks look and the different morphology of the fungi in different ants. As you can see here, specifically, they're all biting into a leaf, and curiously under the leaf, because under the leaf is there's more chance for it to the spores go to other ants. So we have to talk about cicadas because there's cicadas everywhere right now, right? I don't know if all of you have seen them, but I went to High Banks and I saw all these cicadas. This brood 10 cicada. And what is interesting about them is you'll see a few of them that look a little bit white, and they usually call them the flying salt shaker. And we'll see why they call him this way. So what's happening here is the fungus, the still living cicada's abdomen is replaced by a plug of the fungus, as you can see here in the background. And this fungus is called Mesospora. Depending on the cicada, and depending on the cicada will be the species of the fungus, but the genera is Mesospora. Now, the cicadas are still sexually active, even though they don't have sexual reproductive parts. They're gonna be hypersexual and they're gonna be hyperactive. So they're gonna be trying to reproduce with everyone, all of the cicadas, right? And being very active, even though they don't have half of their body. This group found that this fungus is producing psilocybin or an amphetamine, depending on the cicada species or depending on the fungus species. And then this is one that I found when I was going around. So you can see this all is the abdomen. This is where the reproductive system should be. And you see how it's replaced by the fungal spores. And they're still living, and they will be flying around, shaking their spores around, infecting others. And yeah, that's all I have. If you have questions, I can try to answer them.